Y'all niggas got me hot. Yeah.
Is we live? Is we live? Is we live? Yes, you are now tuned into the Rare Podcast. And of course, I am your host with the most, NK, aka NK Flows, aka the man of the hour. Too sweet to be sour.
Hit high notes today.
Yes, and I'm always joined by my lovely co-host. Let's start with the beautiful Madame Ashley.
Wait, everybody stop. Why are you blowing balloons?
Blow bubbles
Because
in
it was
her, man.
supposed
She's
to-
special.
Balloons, bubbles.
It's supposed to, what do you call it? When he gives your intro.
Yeah,
You're
go on.
supposed to
Take two.
Go again.
We are introducing the Fenty Beauty, Caribbean girl look cute, Madame Ashley. You see it?
Hi, everyone.
Receive it. You get me?
Hey, pour from you, though, Jason.
Four. No.
She got me on
You'll
road,
be
fam.
blowing bubbles.
Yeah, West Ham, all right.
And of course, to my left, we got,
Man like T.
Master Man
Come on,
T.
man,
Yes.
T.
Yes.
Last but not least,
I was about to say, because why you make the dark skin person go last? That's a bit rude.
agendas.
First of all, the dark skin person went first.
Also,
The
you're,
dark skin introduce and end.
so I'm lighter than you now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dark skin beginning and end. I like it.
Dark skin beginning and end. See, solidarity within the community. This is what Martin Luther King wanted.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Bro,
Hey!
even my comb.
That was the wrong
my
way,
comb
that was the
has
wrong
that, you
way.
know?
Mr.
I
Jigson
read that.
himself.
My comb has that, you know. It's got
Trust
that
me,
thing.
black power.
Come on.
Oh yeah, do you know what funny
Yeah.
story about them combs?
Mm.
My teachers in my secondary school, they used to take off with everyone because they
Right.
thought it was a weapon.
Oh no,
Yeah.
the metal ones. Yeah, I
This
hear
guy
that.
told me, fam,
Plastic.
His teacher had it all lined up in his office.
Yeah, like a trophy.
Yeah,
What school did you go to?
Stack Peckham.
I thought he said sprat.
That makes sense.
To the
Let's not use
nation.
that stuff. Drippy.
You know
Drippy,
that's
drippy. Oh my God, are drippy. Oh my God,
Can you introduce yourself then?
Oh, sorry. My name is Jixon.
Mhm.
Thanks for having me on the show today.
Okay, so today's topic, simple, is black back? Is being black in fashion these days? What inspired this topic, Elle magazine recently wrote an article. One of the subheadings of the article is black back?
The German one, innit?
Elle, the German magazine, is black back.
It's a German magazine.
No, they have different.
Yeah, the German,
Oh, the German
you know how, like,
edition.
Vogue
German
has
edition.
Vogue,
Yeah.
Asia.
Ah.
Vogue,
And you know the worst
Vogue.
thing about it though? There was a white woman as the cover of it.
Of course it was.
I didn't
Yeah,
understand that.
I mean, she was the cover of the whole magazine, but,
But
the
there was
sub
a
the-
conversation
about
there.
black being back.
And that's what the link that you sent in.
Yeah.
They spoke about how that was controversy because the title of it is called Black is Back, and you put a white person on the cover as well. And then they went into further details.
And
about
even
it.
that, why is black back? Where did we go?
That's what I
I was so
Where did
about
confused.
to say, where did we go?
I thought we were popping for years.
We've
time.
been popping. Like,
For a
What
long
do you mean?
periodically
The
time.
highest, the highest
the white
act.
people came all the way to
Fam.
our country to steal us. If we weren't popping,
Who
we
has
would've
won
come
the most
every
awards
year.
Yeah.
in this in the industry? Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and Beyonce. All of them are black. as well.
He's black and white, anyway.
Did
Let's
they
not
actually
do
make
that.
the most though?
Yeah,
like,
they won the most awards.
I know there's man like
Michael
Elvis
Jackson's-
Presley and that.
Nah, Michael Jackson's
Elvis
one.
was the thing, bro.
Well, Michael Jackson's got the highest selling album of all time, innit? So, like, period. So, period. So,
And I know this argument is beyond a lot of people as well. Football, you two may not know, but who do they say is the best footballer ever?
Messi.
Pele.
What? Who that?
Ever.
yeah.
Ever?
Ever.
Pele.
Not now,
Young
ever.
black talent at the
Even I
time.
know who Pele is.
Yeah,
Come
same.
on, man, like Ashley.
Ashley!
Do that.
Cultured.
Coach, you get me? Researching
You must
that.
know
You
who
read
Pele
Yeah, I
your
know
book.
who Pele is.
I remember
What
reading the
country is
book
he from?
in even I know this. Come on.
How's man drawing him out?
I'm joking.
I'll tell
He
you.
knows. He knows.
Scotland.
France.
He's Brazilian.
Brazilian.
Look at you, Scotland. See your head.
I
What
only know that
Scottish
because I
person
read
is
a book in
called?
primary
What
school
Scottish
by it.
person is Pele?
Nah, I'm just playing.
No, I
But
you
yeah.
are.
But the article was talking about how black is back. And from their perspective, black is back. Because now everyone wants to have black features. Now everyone wants the big, bootylicious booty. Everyone wants
Fat
the
lips.
lips.
Bro, have you man seen them Asian guys that twist their
Yeah,
hair?
that get waves. Oh,
And they get
my-
waves.
Gosh, do you see the one where it was like the things were like this?
The
small,
procedures
across
they
And
have
they
to go
curl
through
it.
is
Then
mad.
they take
Just
every
to look like a
single
black
one of them
person and
out,
you don't even wanna
then
chat
they got
to
the
them.
curls. I was like,
That's weird.
But then when
Bloody
black
hell,
people go
mate.
to their country, they're doing up photo. They're doing up, oh my God.
Yeah, Kobe, LeBron, Beyonce.
Wow, they're so
There's
They
only
love
black
calling
people
black girls Beyonce. Every black girl's
Every
Beyonce.
black guy is Kobe.
yeah, they love it. But G, it's like even now, like acting black is now a thing. Like bare
TikTok.
non-black people are doing blackish mannerisms. Period. Like no, fam. Like stop it. Blackface.
Oh,
Who's that YouTuber? There's one YouTuber that does blackface all the time. It annoys me.
Who?
Shane Dawson, that white don. He does
this
blackface
guy.
all the
well, that guy
time.
does that documentaries and stuff.
Nah, this
Nah.
guy is no, I can't. I do like the way he sometimes has stories that he tells about certain things, but this guy's as a person.
He does blackface.
G all
Yeah,
the time.
bro.
He tries to imitate black women, fam.
Yeah.
He imitates black women
Slaps
all
on
the
a wig,
time.
slaps on whatever. on
Shaq
his
Quaid,
face.
like shut up, fam. Like don't do that, bro.
If I
Don't do
get
that to our
started on the
queens,
beauty
fam.
community, we'll be here for
No,
Yeah,
please,
stop,
madam,
stop. We need to
start it.
understand.
Room engine.
We need to understand.
I'm just tired of everybody in the beauty. Not everybody, but a lot of these white individuals.
Mm.
They just can't stay in their lane.
Mm.
Like everybody wants to obviously have big bum, big lips, big
Talk about.
everything.
Resticles.
Okay, yeah. And then what was it? Who was it today? What's his name? Jeffree Star and Shane made a
Oh,
palette.
that waste, man.
And everybody wants
Gyal.
to forget all of the racist things.
Or
They say,
them.
oh, now he's changed, quote unquote. He hasn't. But it's just like I'm just tired of everybody just forgetting.
Sad,
No,
man.
because and I remember there was a video. There's a comment under Jackie Iron's
Jackie
Iron
That is
Iron.
my
videos.
queen.
And then
She's my
somebody
queen.
and she said makeup for black women or something, makeup for Nigerian women or
No,
something.
it
like
was
that.
Nigerian makeup versus American
Thank
makeup.
you. And then somebody put in the comments, why do you have to bring race into it? And then that same commenter has now makeup for Mexican women and makeup for this woman. So you've taken the whole concept and told her to take race out. But now in your own video, you've put race in. Another culprit of this, Miss Gina Rodriguez. Gina!
How did you do it? Niggas give me heebie-jeebies.
Gina!
I wish she said it with a smile. Niggas give me
Do you know what
heebie-jeebies.
it was for me. That video with she was doing
in the day.
A press
promo,
junket, yeah.
Yeah, with Yara Shahidi, and then the interviewer said to Yara, "Oh, the way you are being an inspiration for black girls." He was
women.
like, "No, all women." He was like, "No. I said black women."
No, do you know what is
Specifically.
mad?
Why are you trying it?
Do you know
I said
what's
what I
mad?
said.
A lot of them
No,
always
no,
do that
women.
thing. A lot of them do that thing where they, what do you call it? They hear that on black people are getting stuff. They want to jump in and be like, oh no, what about for all of us?
Yeah.
All that stuff. Like even the Black Panther thing.
Yeah, or in America where they're like people of color. It's like no. There's black and then there's people of color. You can't. They're not synonymous.
Every time something good happens for us,
They're
they
not
want to
synonymous.
come and
Truly
drag
people
us.
of color.
Black.
White people.
Oh,
These
yeah.
man go purple. These man go pink. Some of these man go green.
coloring books.
But it's like, do you know what it is? It's like, of course, everyone can relate to the struggle. Like, people of color have been oppressed in the individual,
I don't
like
even like that term. People.
No,
of
no,
colour.
no.
Let's say ethnic minorities.
ethnic minorities. So
But it's the whole thing of obviously it's in America. Well, they do it here as well, but it's like trying to group black people and people of color together, as in like
It's
we
not
all
the
go
same.
through the same
Exactly,
struggle. It's like,
when
no, it's
we
not the same
don't.
It's not the
because
same.
some of those same Latin people are racist towards black people.
A lot of them
So-
are.
But half of them, no. But half of the funny thing is like, somebody was saying them, like, I can't remember. I think it was on Vlad TV. Comedian named Godfrey. He was talking
Oh
about
my
He was talking about like how he's spoken
This
to a lot
guy.
of let's say dark-skinned Dominican men. And then he's like, oh, but you lot are black. Like players, people like
They
that
don't
look
see
like
themselves as
Willian
black.
in football, yeah.
They
yeah,
don't
yeah,
see
yeah,
them. They're not black.
Like he was talking to them, and
They
them
don't see
lot was
themselves as
saying,
black.
I'm Dominican. I'm not black. I'm not black.
They
I'm
don't think they're
Dominican.
black.
I'm not black. But they look like me.
Yeah,
They look
yeah,
like my
yeah.
brother. Like, I'm not black, but they'll say I'm Dominican, not black. So it's like,
By culture, you're Dominican, but by race, you are black.
you're black. Because before I hear you speak, you're my brother. Black
Your
power.
ancestors came from the same
You'll
place.
be
my
walking in
ancestors
the
did,
march of
so-
Martin Luther King. You're black, fam. So it is what it is. But at the same time, it's like, living at the same time, it's like, I now see becoming black is now trendy. It's now the new popular thing. I want to know, where did this start? Because even
The thing is, it was always there. Let's not.
Yeah, I
get
was gonna
twisted.
say.
Nah.
It
in
has.
different forms. It's
different
always been
forms.
there.
I think now it's more mainstream. People are just doing it because and they don't care. They'll just get a big bum and big lips and tan themselves to look our
All of,
shade.
all of those
But
features
it's
weren't even
been
in
there
fashion
from time.
before.
Doesn't
They
it?
weren't.
Our fashion trend, our as a black community, fashion trends have always been hot. Our hairstyles, all these things. It's just
Braids.
in certain spaces they'll try and say, "Oh, it's ghetto,
Minimize
it's
it.
this, it's
Yeah.
that." Because the same white girls that want to have the braids, and then it's not ghetto, quote unquote, but then we have braids and it's now not corporate appropriate.
Because I was watching
Rubbish.
what was the movie I was watching? I was watching Nutty Professor in it, and then obviously Eddie Murphy was talking. There was a scene where he was just talking about women in it, and then he was like, as you can see, Exhibit B, gluteus minimus, but he was saying it in a positive way, like having a small bum was a good thing, which
Yeah,
is
little booties
back
matter.
then. But like, no, obviously, yeah, look, all booties matter. You get me? But
All lives matter.
booties matter. But anyway.
Little booties matter.
He was doing it like in a positive way, and we know typically, stereotypically, the small, tall, slender physique is a Eurocentric physique.
Yeah.
Now everyone wants to now get the wham,
Bam.
which are more attributed to African Caribbean women.
Yeah.
So I find it now, even in society, like now, rap music is now acceptable. But before back then, they used to do news article about how like rappers were messing up. They still do it with drill, but they used to do any sort of rap back in the day.
Well, even back in the day, they didn't think rap was gonna last
At all.
20 years.
At
They
all.
thought it was gonna die out. They
Did
didn't
you
think it was
man
gonna
watch
be.
that Straight Out Compton film?
Yeah.
And you see how much abuse them man got
Oh
from the
my
police,
gosh.
and they didn't care. They went through it, and the same abuse that them man are getting is similar, not on the same level, but it's still the same abuse that a lot of rappers get today.
Like, what do you think about blackfishing? Like, because blackfishing, for those who are unaware, blackfishing is when
Why are you looking at me for?
a Eurocentric woman or white woman or white man, the blackfishing happens with men as well. White man, white woman.
Asian.
Facts. Basically,
No,
a
Asians,
But
Asians
the
don't go
history
round.
behind it, though.
Asians, they're trying to go white.
You
No, but
guys,
there's some Asian that want to be.
do you guys know the
Yeah.
history behind it though?
What blackfishing?
Yeah.
Yeah, elaborate, my friend.
I thought you. Do you know or not?
No.
I was gonna let you elaborate. Oh,
There was somebody dropped
films.
something about it.
in films, this is one thing. In films, they didn't want to hire black actors.
Oh yeah, I know that. I
So
know
it was,
that.
one reason was it was as simple as, oh, okay, we'll get a white man, put
Blackface.
whatever, I don't even know what they use on the face,
Paint.
put that on their face and have them act as
And red lips.
as an animal, as this.
Yeah, because
And then
they always
adverts
had
too.
like animalistic characteristics.
And then adverts too.
Gollywogs.
Bro, they used
Yeah.
to put black people in zoos.
Yeah.
And this is something that the British Empire will never tell you. The British Empire was one of the cruelest things that could happen to planet Earth. And they'll never tell you this.
Because
but
they
Bro,
like
oh
to
my
see themselves
days.
as benevolent. Like, you
Yeah.
know, that was the slavery was the Americans.
Even on Twitter, I saw today it was like America was basically it was like this video where it was like America's population was mainly by indigenous people, and then like over the years it just went down and down and down to like zero basically, where they just kind of live in this like small area in the south of America.
know how-
But it's like basically America is based on the genocide of Native Americans.
do you know how many Native Americans they killed?
Too many.
I could be wrong, but I
Too
remember
many.
hearing a number 400 million.
Yeah.
Too many.
That
Especially
makes
deep in the size of America and
Too many.
Mexico
And the whole thing
and
was
Canada.
You know, that makes perfect
native.
sense because
400 million. And no
that-
one talks about this. Everyone
makes
talks about the
perfect sense.
Holocaust, but no one talks about the Native
Because they're always
Americans being
shouting
killed
like, this
that.
is our country. You know, it's not your country, bro. It's not your country, bro. You
not
stole
your
it. You
How
stole
can
it.
Christopher Columbus touch
stole it.
someone's yard and say, this is my
We
house?
I
found
discovered
it.
it where
What did
people
you
already
discover?
there.
Rubbish. You didn't discover
they're
anything.
already there.
The arrogance of this, what was it, Spanish? Fam, these men were going after India, and just because they landed there, they fooled themselves, they fooled the
Yeah.
world, they fooled their kings and that.
We discovered this country,
Arrogance.
so we are
Happy
taking over.
Thanksgiving.
Who told you that?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bro,
Rubbish.
these conversations vex you. Man.
Fam.
I'm
Dead.
lying.
But yeah, blackfishing. It's a very prevalent thing
So
amongst.
let me just elaborate what blackfishing is
Yeah.
in this. Blackfishing is again is a non-black person assuming, basically making their skin darker to appear more racially ambiguous. So they don't look black. So when you
But
look at them,
it's not only that. It's especially in the beauty community again. Is there's certain girls who will have opportunities given to them because of their racially ambiguous status. When no, you're a white girl, but in this circumstance, you're trying to be racially ambiguous to get more opportunities, which can be given to people who are actually that, but you're not.
it's funny. Like more opportunities are be given to these racially ambiguous girls than a lot of black women, particularly some dark skin.
100%.
Like so, I find it weird now. The article says black is back, but then where black though, looking black is
that's what
back.
I'm saying. Certain aspects of
Of
our
blackness.
culture is black. Like you want to be black, but you don't want to be black. Like you don't want the struggles that
You
come
know
with
the phrase, everybody
actually
wants to
having
be a
this
nigga
skin
till it's
color.
time
You
to
don't
be
want
a
it.
nigga.
Trust me, you don't want it.
What's the phrase?
Everybody wants to be a nigga till it's time to be a nigga.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
the
true.
that's the it's the
facts.
truth.
That's really true, man.
Because you wanna take aspects, and this goes into a whole conversation about cultural appropriation and all of this and all that, but it's like being close to like what's considered ideas of blackness is now cool these days. It's now the popular thing in pop culture.
Yeah.
But what do you think about like certain people, like for instance, obviously it's a fictional show, but like Tommy and Power, or like certain people who grew up around,
Hood.
because everybody has a non-black friend who has who just
Not gonna lie
acts
though.
But
like that.
Where
but
I
would-
went school,
yeah.
I have a couple white boys that literally grew up around black people.
Yeah.
Their cousins are black. A lot of their boys are black, and that's literally how they act. Like they literally have no other way to act.
Yeah.
Literally, I've got boys like that. So, in regards to that question, I can understand it, and I don't. It's not something I condemn. Like I do understand it.
Yeah.
I've seen people like that in my
Yeah.
life.
No, I'm saying, I feel the same way because I know, like,
It's
obviously
only when they
growing
put
up
it
in
on,
South,
though.
yeah, of course, yeah. But if there's people who grow up in like certain areas, that's just how they are. Like they've grown up in the area. That's just what they've been influenced by. But obviously, if you're not from there and then you're trying to act like it just to be cool,
Exactly. Like it's like
it's not.
again, I was watching another video. Godfrey recorded it again, but basically he was in basically like the suburbs of America, and he basically saw like these like little white boys like wearing do-rag and saying gang 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 gang, and it's like, what gang, fam? You live in the privilege. You live in
Trust
the
me,
nice.
your parents are together. You have a
you both
six-figure
your
household.
parents-
Why are you?
Trust me.
acting
Like what gang?
rubbish?
What gang are you doing, fam? Like the only gang you're repping is GTA, fam. I like, fam. Like you man are not about nothing, and it's like, they like taking aspects of culture, of like that's not even black. That's not even black culture. That's like ends culture. That's aspects of ends culture which predominantly black people live in. Therefore, we influence it and take it for their own and say, yeah, we are part of this, but you don't know like the ins and outs of that culture.
But
And
there's, what do you call it? There's something in America where there's Southerners and they sound black.
Yeah.
Well, that's what people say, they sound black, but it's just how everybody speaks in that area.
Yeah, how they
So
grow
there's one girl on YouTube called Jessica, the prank
her
star,
mum.
and her mum is a Southerner. So the way she talks, people, I remember when she first came
Mm.
into TL, people are like, oh, she's trying to be black. But that's how they just talk. So there are some people that grow up in the area where they just talk like that, and it's not trying to be black. It's
Because
just
you know
how
what it
everybody
is?
talks.
Wherever you're from,
Mm-hmm.
if that's just how you are, then it's not necessarily a problem. It's when you're trying to put on to be
Yeah.
And you're from somewhere else.
cool or trying
Yeah.
to be.
So let's say
in.
like an Essex person
Yeah.
trying to come to South
Trying to
London
come
and trying to
and
act
be from
like
the ends. It's like, no, sir.
it's just too
Do
much.
you
No, sir.
do you think, yeah, but to play devil's advocate, do you think that elements of blackness are being embraced more because we as society becoming more progressive? Or do you think
Yes, to an extent.
To an extent.
Because there's a lot more mixed race kids now. So there's a lot more kids that are kind of like they're forced to embrace both the black side and the white side of them. And this
Sometimes.
there's
it depends what they identify, because there's some mixed race kids
When they
They
have a white
identify
mum,
as black.
when they have a
Yeah.
white mum, they're on the white side. That's what I've
sometimes.
clocked.
But yeah, so there's some like mixed race kids identify either as white or black. Some
Or some of them just identify as mixed.
yeah, like
some
a
don't
lot-
even know
some
which
of them
ones to
identify as, but
identify
I've
as.
seen a lot of times like
It's
certain
really
mixed
hard for
race
them to
kids.
identify as white.
I was
I'm not
gonna say
lie.
that.
There was-
No, they don't identify, but they're like much
They're
more.
more, yeah,
Yeah,
I get what you
closer
mean,
to
the
their-
white side.
But there was
Yeah.
some woman
Yeah,
who was
everybody
on.
is like that.
There was some woman that was on Ian.
No one
I
wants to
forgot
let
her
me
name.
finish my point.
Wait, sorry. Before I forget this, because you talked about white side and that
calm,
stuff.
it's calm.
There was one woman who was talking about how she didn't know where to fit in with the white side or the black side because on her white side, people were saying, "Oh, you're too black for us. You can't chill with us." On the black side, people were saying, "Oh, you're too
not black
white. Your
enough,
hair is
yeah.
not like ours." So she was like, she just didn't know where to fit in, so she didn't have friends throughout the whole school
Just
time.
extending on to this point. Did you man ever watch that? I don't even know. Is what Blackish or
Yeah.
lightish? I don't
Oh,
know.
that new
Mixed-ish.
show mixes.
Mixed-ish.
I
I
ain't
haven't
gonna watch
actually
that.
watched it yet.
I haven't
but
watched
yeah.
it yet.
People are like, oh my god, you lot have light skin privilege. How can you not say you lot were ever like oppressed or you lot ever went through a hard time? But like, there was a period when being
Yeah.
light skin
Yeah.
wasn't
The-
the norm.
The only
And
thing
they must have faced problems.
The only
But
thing
yeah,
I
wanna
don't think
touch on
people
my
will
other
watch
point,
that
though.
is because, what do you call it? The whole thing about how the mum, Rainbow's mum, in the show on Blackish, her mum was
She's
light
light-skinned.
skinned, but they decided to get a dark skinned woman for the actual show. So it's just like you're forcing it now.
I don't know.
But I think it still can be a real issue of mixed race people feeling not oppressed, but they just feel like they don't really fit in anywhere.
The trailer hasn't done it justice.
Because being mixed race wasn't like
It
normal.
wasn't normal, yeah.
Yeah.
To
Like,
answer your
50
question,
years
though,
ago.
I mean, they used to
I've
call
seen-
them half caste and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I've
innit?
seen a lot of white mums that have like mixed race kids and a black husband, boyfriend that actually do embrace a lot of black people.
No, of
And they are
course.
very
Yeah.
aware of the
Of
problem.
course.
So yeah,
No,
I
of course.
would say
Like,
yes.
It just
White-
depends.
Yeah, like, not
there
even
are
to be-
some white people that are embracing the black
Of
culture,
course,
black
and
people,
genuinely, and
are aware of the
of
issues.
course, when having these conversations, it's important to, like, when we say white people, we're not talking about all white people, because of course, like,
definitely.
there are white people that actually like allies or just
Yeah,
understand
100%,
like
100%.
understand like the culture and stuff like that, and are actually aiding us as well. So when we say white people, of course, we're not
not
trying to we're
everybody.
not demonizing them as a whole. We're just talking about specific subsets of people that like.
Or what do you think about what's his name? Jack from Love Island, where he was talking about how
dad.
he was like at some football team, and then they saw his dad, because I don't know where his dad's from. He's like mixed
That's
or
mixed race, I
or something
think.
like that. Yeah, and then they treated him differently because they found that his dad was like
Yeah. No, do you know what I
mixed.
didn't like about the whole Jack thing? It wasn't even him. It's where like people tried to silence him.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, you don't have a say in this, when his experience is actually a very unique one, and it's something that we don't hear often of. We don't often hear of.
and he's never once said that he's black, or he's trying to
never once
be black.
he's just giving.
That's just who he is.
He's just explaining his story, and to
Because you could tell he
silence
grew
my
up in
man,
ends. You could tell he grew
exactly.
He grew up in ends.
and to silence my man just because he's not, he's not black. It's silly, because he has a story to tell. He's not even saying, my dad's story is equal to you. He's just saying, nah, he's just giving his point of view, his perspective. And that's important. We should consider all perspective. What I don't
100%.
like as well is that obviously we know that dark-skinned men, especially dark-skinned women, have been like marginalized in media and so on and so forth. So it's important to empower them. It's very important to empower them. However, what I don't like is when you empower somebody by downgrading someone else. So a lot of the time they'll be like, oh, forget these light skins, dark skins are this.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, don't
everybody can
do
just
that.
flourish
Like,
together.
blackness is just like, it's a spectrum. Like, not everyone is, not everyone is as light as, who's a light skinned person? I don't know.
Zendaya.
Georgia Smith.
Not everyone is Georgia Smith, and not everyone's Lupita. There's a spectrum. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
There's a spectrum.
That's literally what Dave says in his song Black. He's literally talking about the different complexions of blacks, different colors of blacks, and how embracing all of them.
What's funny
over there, man? Bring us in
Bro,
on
it's
the
just,
joke.
you got Jordan Swift and Lupita together.
What?
Anyway.
Georgia Smith is very light.
He's
Nah,
very
I was
light,
gonna- I was
and the
thinking
dark
of-
skin.
I was thinking of somebody who's
Who?
Who's British?
Scissor.
She's not that dark.
But she's not that.
She
Lupita's
brown.
darker than her, though.
She's not that.
The reason I used a dark skinned woman and a light skinned woman. Yeah.
Anyway.
and Scissor is the spectrum,
middle.
the middle
She's in the
somewhere.
middle.
You understand?
You understand? You get me? But yeah, I feel like embracing all aspects of blackness is very important, because again, of course, we know why dark skinned people are being propped up, because again, dark skinned people made the butt of a lot of jokes, and they were oppressed a lot more. Not even a lot more. They were oppressed.
Remember Martin?
Yeah. What?
Martin and
Gina. Yeah, basically the 90s sitcom Martin has come under criticism recently, because Gina, who's Martin's girlfriend, who's played by Tashina Arnold.
No.
No. That's Tisha Campbell.
Tisha
Her
Campbell.
friend, I was talking about
Yeah,
the way
Tisha-
they back and forth.
Yeah, basically, basically, Martin was dating Tisha Campbell.
Tisha.
So
Yeah.
Tisha Campbell, who's light skin. And he'd always cast Tanisha Arnold, who's dark skin.
Call her like a
So
brother,
again,
all that
yeah,
stuff.
cool. Like people have said, that's highlighting a bit of colorism, because why is the light skin girl not getting
Or
cast,
even
but the
it's
dark
obviously
skin
it
girl
might
not
not even
getting
be
cast?
colorism in any sense. But
It's
I'm just
not
saying,
colorism.
No, but what's her name in Fresh Prince, where Aunt Viv was dark skinned, now she was
Because she got pregnant and they
I'm
decided
not
to get
saying
light
it's
skin.
colorism, but I'm just saying
They could have got someone
they
darker.
could have got someone dark.
Or just said that she left or went somewhere.
Yeah,
dark skin.
But then it happened bare times though, because even the My Wife and Kids one, how Claire changed from a dark skinned person season 1 to a light skinned
Light
person.
skin.
He was like, that's a bit drastic. And we didn't even clock it.
No, everybody clocked. We just didn't
Not
say
everyone,
anything.
but I can't lie. In the case of My Wife and Kids, they made Claire funny also.
She was hella funny though.
In the case of My Wife and Kids, they
So it
made
made up for
Claire
that.
funny. Like the old Claire was fine, but they made the new. But I think they
Was the old Claire dumb?
No, she was smart. all of the kids were smart in the original season. What I think
I
is though.
miss the old Aunt Viv, man.
I know the old Aunt
On-
Viv's the best
Fresh
one.
Prince, man.
She had character. The
Yeah.
other
That
Aunt Viv
light
was
skin
nobody
one.
can
was
top
submissive.
this.
Yeah.
Nobody can top.
Yeah.
The way she did that dance and she did the thing at the end with her leg in the air. We love
The
it.
dark skin Aunt Viv is the goal.
The last game could never. She can never.
Do you know where I feel like black culture is really being embraced? Football.
Oh yeah,
After France won the World Cup,
yeah.
and now
Ramène la
the
coupe à la
majority-
maison.
come on,
That was hard.
Big tune.
Kante, Engolo.
to the whole world, these men were dancing, doing their normal dance.
Graham Souness didn't like that though.
Do you know what it
Embracing
is with
themselves.
that? I feel like black culture is embraced, but no. I feel like it's celebrated, but it's not necessarily embraced.
I feel like it's accepted.
in that way. I feel like it's celebrated to a point, because like they'll celebrate and be like, oh, that's great, and then after that, it's
Doesn't go
like
beyond that.
it doesn't really go anywhere
It'll be
beyond
like-
that.
Because it's gotten to a point where black culture is being. Well, first of all, us as black people, we were so unapologetic about our culture. It's that
Continue to be
we
unapologetic
were
about
so-
yourself.
Exactly, we're so unapologetic about our culture that we it forced the wider society to accept us.
Yeah,
And
because
when
we
they
kind of
started,
weren't going anywhere, so they had no
exactly.
choice really.
So like, we're not going anywhere.
We're
We
not
are here
going.
now. We are here. We are proud. You get me? So it's like.
Honestly, to the listeners, if there's young listeners, be proud of yourself.
100%. Wherever
Proud of
culture you
yourself.
come from, even if you're not black,
Yeah,
any culture.
if you're
proud
Asian,
of
white,
yourself.
black, be proud of
Be
yourself.
be proud of your
yourself,
culture.
man. Don't try to be someone else. Be yourself, man. Everyone's cool, man.
But
Like
why do
Obi
you
said,
think-
everyone's cool, man?
But why do you think a lot of people are trying to be black now? Like especially the younger generation.
Again,
and
because
everything?
even
Because
the
we're late.
Because even in the conversation we had last week, we said, okay, rap is pop now. But okay, let's just go with it now. That rap is popular music right now, right? And and a lot of aspects of black culture is being shown. If you look at the NBA, full of black players. If you look at the music we
Oh,
consume.
I have so much to say about the NBA.
If you look at the music we consume, the predominant genre in music right now is rap. That's just a fact. It's the predominant genre in
There's a
music.
lot of black artists coming out.
Rap is a genre created by black people.
and dominated by black people.
By
still.
black people. So again, the media we consume, blackness. Again, even if you go back to sports, you've got players like Raheem Sterling who embrace their blackness. You got the France national team. Again, blackness is everywhere. Like, we cannot be ignored. So it's come to the point where the media have to accept us, and the public have accepted us. It's become cool now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, like, they have
We're
accepted.
entertainment though. That's the thing. We're entertainment,
That's what I think
and they
it
love
is.
us. I think they love us when we're entertainment. When we're not
But
entertainment,
when we're not
that's when you're a
entertainment-
criminal. You're a bad guy. You're a
Very
joker.
true.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like we're celebrated
In the
to a
entertainment
certain
sector.
extent, but otherwise, there's like, okay, keep that. You can do that, but
And that's it. I feel like black people are celebrated when they can bring something to the table. And
you know
that's
what you
it.
said, when we can contribute something,
When we
or when we
can't.
give you ideas for something,
Yes.
or we tell you what's lit and what's not, then you'll like us. But when it's something different,
For example, how many people have blown off Black Twitter?
A lot of people. Even Ovi thing, because somebody said something how if Black Twitter never gassed Ovi up like that, none of these like magazines
Nothing,
or stuff will be
nothing.
posting him all the time
Yeah.
or saying, this is Ovi's day, all that rubbish.
Or, like,
Because when he
even-
first came, no one
even
was
like
here.
some of these like Twitter girls like getting their own shows or podcasts and stuff, getting like opportunities to like host stuff, like even obviously she's not from Twitter, but like Nella Rose and that, like all of those like YouTube girls getting,
Stepping into
Because
multimedia
her
platform.
supporters,
Yeah.
everyone's a supporter.
because they're
of her.
like some of them girls are going to like LA and doing like BET stuff.
And then
I'm
Rose
just
has
like,
been flying out
yo.
every month to different
Yeah.
countries, and like
I
she's
mean,
doing big for
I
herself.
mean, if you look at this,
Wow.
like, one of the biggest artists in the country, Stormzy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, saying that.
And at the end of the day, Stormzy's always himself. Even what he just today he
Lately.
cost that Grenfell
That guy,
guy.
yeah.
I don't even know
No,
who he is.
DP,
But
Like Jacob,
man said, no, DP. Man said, if you were in the building, you should have left. As in, they
and if
were
you
just,
didn't leave, you
if
lacked
you didn't
common
leave, then
sense.
you lacked common sense. No.
Do you know what? Do you know
That's
what
a
time?
wicked
Do you know
mind.
Do you know
You
what
know
time it was when the fire happened? It was late in the evening.
It was
If
early
it-
hours
if
of
it
the
wasn't-
morning.
People were
If it
sleeping.
wasn't for the Muslim brothers that were coming from prayer and that had been awake at that time, alerted the entire building, it would have been even worse, son.
And the thing
And
is,
this
if
guy
they
said
would
you
have
lack
tried to
common
leave the
sense.
building, they would have died from carbon monoxide poisoning
Exactly.
anyway. So you talking is just nonsensical. Just
Exactly.
be quiet when you don't have
Exactly.
sense. Rubbish.
And
Yeah,
then,
Stormzy cussed that guy, and Stormzy
Good.
doesn't care.
He
The
don't
white
care.
people put Stormzy up here, and he still doesn't care. He's still himself. That's what I
no,
love.
leave it. Deep his Glastonbury performance, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Deep the messaging in that performance, yeah.
Yeah.
About he said, I think he said fuck Boris. He
Yeah.
said No, Theresa May was
he's
on Brit
always-
Awards. Theresa May was Brit Awards.
He's been vocal about Theresa May, David Cameron, all of them. He's
All
been
of
vocal
them.
about it.
He's been chatting about them for time.
And even I don't know. I feel like we're at a stage where we're more visible and we're more visible and I don't want to use the word accepted because again, I feel like there's signs of pseudo racism. Like racism in England, especially racism in England, it's
so
covert.
Underhand.
It's like
so
nobody's
slighted.
like for example,
Oh
you're not gonna
my.
get a case where somebody calls you the N-word directly to your face. I mean, you
maybe
might,
maybe in certain parts
certain
of the
parts,
UK,
but especially like
but
let's say
not-
London, right?
Nah.
You're not gonna get overt racism. You're gonna get little racial undertones. Oh, that's a bit aggressive. Oh, he just made me feel a bit uncomfortable. No, do you know who highlights it most? Kelechi on no on Insta on Twitter
The
with
bit
Sally
emojis.
from HR.
Sally from
That
that's
series.
hilarious.
Sally
I
from
loved it.
H.
That's
It's Sally from
hilarious,
HR.
fam.
Oh my
Anytime
god.
I see that come up on the TL,
Sally
I have
from
to watch it.
love
HR
it.
is funny.
It's funny and so realistic. That's
Basically, the
funniest thing
series
about
Sally
it.
from HR is basically she'll basically she'll basically mimic somebody from HR and basically make a lot of comments with racial undertones. Oh, you see that hair? It's a bit
Beyonce
it's a
ish.
bit
It's a bit
extravagant,
Delicious.
it's a bit extravagant, it's a bit wild. The co-workers said you came across as a bit negative. Oh, you're just speaking the same.
I'm not saying like you're negative. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, but like
Hiya, more Nike. It's me, Sally in HR. It's just a quick. I'm ever so sorry, love. Moronike. Oh, I thought as much. I thought she likes sports shoes. More Nike. Moronike. Is that how you say it? Moronike. Well, sorry to bring this to you, love, and it is nothing to worry about. It's just a quick one. Basically, I've had a complaint. Yeah, I've had a complaint from Kathy in finance. Yeah. She says she struggles to find you when she needs to give you your pay slip because you're always changing your hair. You've got different hairstyles. No, love, I totally understand that you are the only black person on that floor, but you have to see where she's coming from. You know, data protection and all of that. She wants to just be sure that it's you. I'm sure it's innocent, love. I'm sure it's innocent. There's nothing meant by it, love. Honestly, love, it's more awkward for me than it is for you, honestly. I know, but I'll just read you what she says in her email, okay? Well, she says here that sometimes Morenike has short hair, then other times she has bootylicious hair like Beyonce, and other times she has locks like Bob Marley. Honestly, love, I do agree with you. You are the only black person on that floor and you sit at the same desk with your name on it, but, you know, she is perfectly innocent, love. She's just worried about you. Just worried. She doesn't want to give your pay slip to the wrong person. Yeah, but don't worry about a thing, 'cause Sally in HR will make it all right. Oh, I love a bit of Bob Marley, I do. Oh, the moment I saw that in her email, I thought, oh, that hairstyle must have been gorgeous. Hello? Hello? Moronike? Hello? Oh, I think she's hung up.
Or did you see that one where it was like the girl? I can't remember who it was on Twitter. I saw where one black girl wore the same dress as the white girl, but the black girl got penalized for it. But it's because she had a
figure.
But they were wearing the same dress.
Body so bootylicious,
So,
babe.
that was hilarious.
You get me?
It was even when, what do you call it, Alexandra from last year's Love Island came and said that Yewande was being aggressive because the way she
Oh my
confronted
gosh.
Danny and the girl. But she did it calmly and then everybody was getting onto her. Then all Alexandra could do
Shout out your one day, fam.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Medicine beauty.
Yowanda's my queen. I love her.
Beauty.
Fam,
We
she
love
didn't let
her.
that rubbish run.
Not at all.
She said,
"Have a
Women
nice
with
life."
vim.
Carry on.
Let me finish talking.
And then what happened? They got broken up. Look at
No,
it.
but you know what I
Look
found
at God.
funny, yeah?
This happened with your enemies. They will not prosper. Your enemies will not prosper. I'm telling you, it's God.
Do you know what I found funny though? Shout out to Ovi as well. But the funny thing
fucking you
is
just
how the
went over
UK
me.
media
Sorry.
embraced Ovi so well, and he's like, "Oh my god, he's such a nice guy."
I didn't think
He's
it would be so
this."
calm.
I didn't think. What
I
did you
didn't
think he'd
it'd
be?
so gentle.
I didn't think. But what did you
he's
think?
so
Do you know how
polite,
many
he's so
man them in the ends are
well-mannered.
just like Ovi, fam?
For real.
But because because he defied them lot's
Even
expectation.
the T right there behind the cameras.
Trust
like
me.
him, fam. Literally.
Calm,
Gentle
collected
giant,
brother.
fam.
But
Gentle
the media
giant.
were like, oh my God, he's so different. He's this and
Such a
that.
nice, like even the way that he took what's her name? The girl. He took
Amber.
her away from the situation where Anna was shouting.
Oh,
And they were
Amber.
like, he
India.
was such a
Oh, India.
gentleman. The way he took her.
It's like
It's a
Eddie,
normal
he's a
person would do
normal
that.
guy. He's a
It is
normal
rubbish.
guy, but the
half,
media...
half of that is him being fetishized anyway.
100%.
Oh, let's go.
100.
I love
Oh
it.
my gosh.
I love it.
Yes.
You touched it. You
Yes.
touched it. Let's talk about the fetishization
Oh my
of
God.
black
It's everywhere, fam.
people.
More so black men.
Yeah. Oh.
More so black men because the way
can we speak
black
on
men are
it?
fetishized.
It's a different thing.
It's a problem.
It's a
Fam,
di-
they don't even care, fam. They will openly
No, they
snap
love it.
on
Of course,
social
a
media.
lot of them love it. A lot of them
I
love it.
want mixed race kids. I want kids with
Yeah.
coolie hair.
Call Jaden or Kai.
I need to find me a black man,
Or
and then there's a
Aiden.
picture of a baby, a mixed race baby.
Why'd you like even?
And you know, it's prevalent in because my cousins, they live in Margate. Oh my gosh, the things that my cousin used to tell me about her white friends. What they used to say?
Like, ooh.
Fam, one of them, mum used to tell me her friend used to go to London every single week to find herself a black boyfriend.
Huh?
When they literally lived in
Feel why?
Margate, which is like Kent. Every single weekend they used to go to London to find herself a black boyfriend because she wanted mixed race kids.
Wow. Like, do you not
Do you know
find
how
that
shallow
disgusting?
Do you know how
And that's just
shallow
one
that
story
is?
that she told me.
Do you know how shallow that is? What you want for your kids is looks, not even personality. You don't even want them to be confident kids on this, that.
Or even
You just want them to look
this
good.
Engineering
do you
babies.
remember that YouTuber where like she came out? I think she was having a baby.
Her
and
baby's
then the
eyes
baby
were
came
blue.
out, and the baby's eyes were
Oh,
blue.
them
And then
American
she was like,
ones.
oh, your she's
I
like,
know,
your
I'm
eyes
making
aren't
that.
pretty like mine.
She
She
said
had brown
ugly.
eyes.
She called the baby ugly.
She called the baby ugly.
Because you
Rubbish.
allow that, fam. And even like there was like a talk show again. I'ma find it. It was a talk show basically where they were talking about black men and black women, no, white women and black men. And then the guy was asking, so what attracts you to black men? They're asking the audience full of white men, what attracts you
think
to
I've seen that.
what attracts you to black men? It's like, it's just their skin is so
Yeah.
it's so rich. It's so
It was American,
you know,
innit? Or was
no,
it
no, it was,
English?
Brit- it
Yeah,
was
it's called
British.
Melanin, babes.
It was British. And then I was like, what? Like she was talking about us in a mad
And in certain
way.
areas, it's light skinned men as well. The way white girls love light skinned men. Oh my gosh.
But do you think,
Yeah.
But do you
Especially on
think
Love Island.
You know, like black
light-skinned men
people's
are
like
loved.
uncharted territory to them. Like it's dangerous.
taboo?
It's
I mean, where do you think the
naughty,
phrase
yeah.
jungle
It's
fever
risky.
comes
Oh,
from?
you know,
Am I
like,
gonna upset my
you know,
parents?
like these white girls, if they bring black people home,
It's gonna upset
8
their
times
dad.
out of 10, 9 times out of 10, their parents are not gonna be happy with it. They may not say
And some of them will do it on
they're not gonna
purpose
be
just to
happy
piss
with
off their
it.
parents.
Oh, I didn't know your boyfriend was black. Or I didn't know that's how he looked.
Gee,
Like,
where do you think the phrase jungle fever comes
Or
from?
even in Get Out, when he was like, do they know that I'm black? And she was like, no, because I'm not gonna
doesn't
say my
matter
black
what-
boyfriend.
No, but do you know what happens? You know what I love about Get Out? It shows the other side of the spectrum where parents, where these white parents will overcompensate.
Do you remember what was it? He was like, black is in fashion.
She was like, I would have voted for Obama.
Twice.
For
For
the
three
third-
terms.
third
Third
term.
if I had
Third
to.
term in a
Oh
row.
my
Do you-
god.
and then all the man, do you think black is that I'm Japanese man? Do you think being black is an advantage in this society? I was like, fam, why? Even in the scene where they're in the house here and the woman keeps grabbing
Touching
up
him
his
like
arms,
this.
like, oh
Touching
my,
his arm
You
like
know
this.
what?
oh my,
You know what they're doing there, innit?
yeah,
Yeah.
no, oh gee,
Are you what I want? I'm gonna, because they were gonna bid for him eventually.
Yeah.
But are you perfect for what I
Must
want?
they were bidding
Mad.
for his
no,
body.
because again,
mad.
there's this image of the black man that again that hasn't changed even
Yeah.
that we're savages,
The
that
black
we're just
man, yeah.
beast, black beast, all of this beast.
Strong. Yeah.
Again, we said it last time. Even
The,
happens in
whole,
football.
the football conversation, yeah, we mentioned
Pace
it. then.
and power, fam. Again, like all the the fetishization of black men is, but even it happens with black women as well now. It's happening with black women
Sis,
a
if
lot.
I speak now.
Please speak.
You know, like black women are the most oppressed people on planet
Let's
Earth.
not even
I'm
start.
not even joking. Like,
Let's not even
or maybe in
start.
in this society, in the Western society, black
Yeah.
people
We are at the bottom.
the most oppressed
We're at the bottom.
people, and the fact that they've had to be so resilient, so strong, so independent, is now becoming a thing that is attractive to people. In its own right, it should be, but like, that's a mad thing.
It is a mad
That's
thing.
a mad thing, fam.
It is a mad thing.
They've had to
Because-
go through so much struggle, and you don't even pay attention to that.
It's like,
But they'll take things that we create
Yeah.
and call it new and trendy. But then when we do it, it's a problem. It's okay.
I just,
We'll just be lit where we are. It's fine.
But the thing is, again, it's like we create stuff, they repackage it, and it doesn't last that long.
Like the whole thing about the boxer braids or
They
the
said
what was it?
on
The
Kim Kardashian
Bantu
event that-
knot. They had like Bantu knots. What do they call it? I can't remember what they call it. And then
They
they
call
called
it China
edges.
bumps.
No, I
Yeah, or they
swear.
called edges tendrils.
I can't believe they made it seem like Kylie Jenner came up with a
Came up with two corners in your head.
Gee,
She came up with two
No,
corners.
but do you know the whole worst thing about that
As
whole
in my
situation?
whole primary school life, I didn't come with two corners in my head to primary school.
But you know the worst thing about that situation
Oh
is that
my
the fact that the
gosh.
Kardashians will never open their mouth, knowing that they are so big
Let
with
me not even
media,
start with the Kardashians.
they'll never open their mouth and say, no, we didn't do these stuff or this, that, and that, because they do have black people in their family. So let's say Kanye's side.
And I think this ties in with what
I
you
noticed
said.
how all of them, except for Chloe, not Chloe,
Courtney.
every single one of them have mixed race kids. Every
Exactly.
single
And Kendall.
and
It
Kendall.
ties with what you said though. Black people
Okay,
are
well,
just about
she's-
accepted.
She's still dated black men.
But she
Exclusively.
Yeah,
Maybe
she's
she just has a
a...
type.
So they all
Okay,
exclusively
to play
date black
devil's
men.
advocate,
No,
maybe
but she
they
has
just have
white
a
guys as
type.
well.
Bro, black men are they're trendy. They're in fashion.
But we,
You never know. People
think
might
these-
just have a type
you
and
think
then...
that-
nah, but their one's taking it.
Bro,
taking
it's more than a
far.
coincidence.
No,
Kardashians-
you
the
guys are
Kardashians,
just
bro.
defending
The
them.
Kardashians are different.
Bro, all of them except for two, all of them. They have
What?
mixed race kids.
No, I'm saying
Except-
people. I'm not talking about the Kardashians. I'm just saying people might have a type.
Okay.
It's not every single.
so
it's
what's
not
the
every.
difference?
Of course,
It's not every
of
single
course.
non-black person that goes for a black person
Okay.
thinking, oh yeah, because
Oh,
this
of
or
course
that.
not. We're
There's
not,
some
but
people.
we're not talking about those people.
I'm
We're
just
talking
saying.
about- you know, I was saying, when we say we have conversations like this, we're not talking about every single white person who dates
No.
a black person who dates someone outside of
Talking
their race.
about-
We're talking about people who fetishize. I
we-
can't say the word. We feel different. Who fetishize other races, which is not a good thing.
Yeah. No.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, what's the difference between somebody having a fetish or a preference? Like what behaviors are exhibited by people that have fetishes, or what behaviors are exhibited by people that have preferences?
I feel like especially a lot of these Caucasian females, they will love off these black men, but the way they treat black women,
Elaborate.
This says a lot, fam.
it doesn't
oh my
correlate. As
days,
in that might
actually.
be his sister.
That's a great
because
point.
I've seen some things in this university where some of these white girls will say things about black men, but the way they just discard women, just as in they're nothing. It's just like that might be his mum or his sister or his cousin. Like we're the same, but you know, it's fine.
Fam, if that doesn't speak volumes, then I don't know, man.
I've seen some things.
It does, because it's like, again, it's like you love off the black men, but you say, but these black girls, these black women will be doing XOXO. It's like they are a part of, like, black women will be a part of your black man's life.
That black man that you love so
As a
much
black mother.
came from a black woman.
Black mother.
Where is your common sense?
But the worst thing about it is that there's some black guys that will actually just let these things.
Oh, they'll
run.
condone
Let me
it.
know
They
you
will,
start with some of these
they'll
black men.
they'll hear all these, even on Twitter and
shuck it,
everything.
jab,
You see
shuck
what
it, jab,
you see,
don't
like
get
on
it
how
down,
people
don't
degrade or like drag black
dance.
girls and all that stuff, and they'll still be bantering it or like adding fuel to the fire. There's a lot of TL guys that'll just say mad stuff about black women.
There are
Because if I want to
thirsty
make a
men.
joke, I'll do it privately with my friends. But these people, they go on Twitter, they aggravate on the black women and all that stuff
Okay.
for some odd reason
Because
to just
there
get
are-
jokes out of it.
Because it's self-hatred.
Okay,
No,
okay, no,
pick me.
recently,
self-hatred.
we're not gonna name.
It really is self-hatred.
Recently, we're not gonna name any names, but there's been a lot of like social people popping on the social media influencers and stuff like that have previously made jokes about
the thing I put in
yeah,
the group chat the
about
other day.
dark skinned women, right?
Yeah,
And obviously, people will say, okay, Twitter was different
Why
back
can't we say
then.
the name?
No, we're not
because there's no point.
Wait,
It's just
wait,
a
we can bleep
No,
it. I just
no,
want to
no,
know.
no.
We can bleep it. Who is it?
Can I say
can
the
bleep
podcast?
it. No, let me-
mime me.
He's from Free Source Tequila podcast.
Listen, we can bleep it. No,
Yeah, he's from.
editing.
It's the dark skinned guy from Free Shots of Tequila.
There's still, what's that
I mean,
business
there's two
mentioning
of
their
them, but
names?
yeah.
Anyways, let's continue.
Well, that's the one that I put in the group.
Yeah,
chat.
yeah,
We can
Let's
bleep
continue.
on
But yeah, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, based on certain not just him though, but there's bare others, but certain other
yeah,
influencers
there's
have been caught.
bare others.
I'm like saying not so nice things about dark skinned women. Well,
But it's not even influence. It's a lot of black
men.
entertainers. Like
Black-
even the thing about who was it? There was somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they said something about dark skinned women time ago. Obviously, it was time ago because this whole dragging up old tweets has just been a thing. I can't remember who it was.
But yeah, no, but
There's been a lot.
yeah, there's been influencers been caught doing that, and then one of them said, which is
And even certain light skinned women have made jokes
Yeah.
about black women.
not even light skin. I mean, some Latin women, Sabrina Claudio.
Was it
you get
Steph
me?
London?
But
Steph London, even Sabrina Claudio, Maya Jama made some comments.
Man, I'm a quoted, but yeah, that's
No,
But-
she made some comments.
But
Did she?
okay, though. But
What did she say?
all that's important. Okay, should we still hold those dons or guys or girls accountable for what they said previously?
Of course
Or
not.
does changed behavior matter?
Change
Of course
behavior
change
does
behavior
matter.
matters.
But no, but at the same time, change behavior, we were saying change behavior, we feed the behavior matters. But at the same time, these tweets were from years ago. And people are still bringing it up to this day. So if change behavior if change behavior matters, why are the tweets still being dug up?
Because there's people
you still
out
said
there
it.
that do not like these people. There's people that dislike certain celebrities that they want to bring up their past and stuff like that. And there's just people that just bored.
Yeah, number one, people that are bored, or it's just people who maybe saw something and it's like, you said this, but you're doing this. That doesn't
But I don't
correlate.
get the whole bringing up people's past tweets. It don't make
The
sense to
phrase that
me.
you said the other day, if you don't say about, what was it, about the oppressor? If you don't say anything about the oppressor, you stand with the. If you don't speak on the oppressed,
Oppression,
You stand with the
stand with the
oppressor.
oppressor.
Big facts.
This is why I was watching a documentary, one Nazi guy, and years later, decades later, they found him.
Is it called
The Devil
The
Next
Next Door?
Door,
I saw the
yeah.
trailer for that. I want to watch
It's
it.
lit, I'm not gonna lie.
Is it good?
It's very good. I was hooked on it yesterday. But what I'm saying is, yeah, decades later, this guy, he was named Ivan the Terrible. He used to walk around with a sword, cutting people off. This, that at the concentration camps. And decades later, he was caught, and people were like, "Oh, like just leave it. Like what happened is in the past.
No.
Leave it." But no, if you do wrong, you have to be called out for it,
No.
and
Of
you
course.
have to be.
And there's a difference between
In that
saying things
situation,
on
punished.
Twitter and actually
But
massacring
okay,
people.
This is
There's a
why. This is why.
difference.
No, I understand change behavior because even this guy, when I was watching,
No, I'm
it,
saying there's a difference between saying a comment on Twitter and massacring people.
Of course,
Of
of
course.
course, of
Big
course.
difference.
But where they come together is you said something that you said or did something that was wrong.
Yeah.
Period. That's where it
Yeah.
comes together. So if
No,
someone's
of
making
course.
tweets like that, you have to be called out on it.
No, you have to be called out on it, but then people are still judging him based on those two. That's the difference.
Yeah, but there's a difference between judging people for what they have said and what you say has consequences.
Consequences.
Because regardless of whether you change behavior or not, if you say something like that,
No, yeah,
then
I agree.
consequence, or if
I
you do
agree.
something bad,
I agree.
consequences should still happen regardless of whether you're repentant or sorry or not. That's
But
just
what
the
if
way
they faced the
that's way the world-
consequences back in the day when they tweeted?
No, of
that?
course not. They weren't. Because
You know what? Yeah?
everybody was tweeting
I used
like
to
that,
think, you know,
clearly.
them apologies that when people give.
Oh,
I used to think they were
stupid
corny, but I'm not
apologies.
gonna lie. Nowadays, if they give it, then I have to
What,
cut them
like,
slack.
what type
Some of them
apology?
apologies are not even written by
depends.
themselves.
It depends on the apology.
Apologies that are not empty. Apologies that will show you that they've learned from their
Because even
mistake.
Gina, I'm sorry that you were offended, but it's just like no, that
Passive
doesn't.
aggressive.
Nobody gonna listen to that woman.
Aggressive.
That doesn't make any sense because if you said something wrong, just be like, "I'm sorry, I said something wrong. I will not do it again."
And
You
when
said
you
she wanted to
apologize,
be
you have
saying
to
people are
understand.
column.
You were offended.
What do you
I'm
got? I
sorry
grew
that
up on that
You
song.
felt some type of way. Wait, that's not even an apology.
When you apologize, you have to understand how the other person
Exactly.
felt and why they were
100%.
offended, why they felt
Address
that
it.
way, and why you were wrong. Otherwise, your apology is
It's
empty, it's
rubbish.
meaningless.
That's what I'm saying. Some of these apologies of people who are saying things, it's just PR rubbish because you're not sorry. You're just trying to save yourself from not getting any more job opportunities.
That's it. You just want to shut them up. Oh, but I apologize. No, but do you
No,
understand
you
the
didn't
Because when
apologize.
repercussions
you
of
read
your
actually
actions?
what they're saying, they're not really sorry.
need
They're
to-
just
you
sorry
need-
they got caught.
You need to understand the words that you said offended me, and you need to understand how these words can offend future people.
100%.
Even if you've
And
offended
why
me,
it's
and
offensive.
Exactly. And you need to actually with apologies. There has to be an element of understanding. A lot of these apologies are like, okay, shut up, don't talk to me no more. Like, okay, I'm sorry.
So, I'm sorry.
blah,
I'm
blah,
sorry.
blah.
I'm sorry.
No.
Alright, leave me alone now.
Let me speak. Let me articulate clearly why this is offensive.
Yeah.
And when you understand why that's offensive,
Just hold your
actually,
hands
if
up. Be
I-
like, I'm sorry. That's it.
apologies, yeah. A real apology shouldn't even come from me forcing you to be like, oh no, do you know what? Like seriously, my bad. And your behavior subsequently should reflect your apology.
Yes.
100.
Should reflect your apology.
Yes.
But it's a very interesting time right now. Again,
I do understand, like, say, like, Maya Jama and them, like, then maybe the tweets were brought up when they were, like, 17, 16, when they were still very impressionable, and maybe they were ignorant. They didn't know the effects of what they were saying. I get that.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
still,
If anything comes out, I'm not judging you and saying
exactly.
you're a bad person,
I'm like-
you're this, you're that, because obviously
At the
back in the
end of the days,
days, everybody was just tweeting reckless. But if
understand where you stepped wrong, innit? That's what it is at the end of the day. Understand you did something wrong and why it was wrong. Like NK said.
yeah, I feel like back to the original topic of like black is back. How we are so prominent. Let's talk about entertainment because when it comes to behind the scenes, you know, shady stuff are still going on. When it comes to us, like we're not being in a lot of the business departments, we're not being promoted like that. Do you know what I mean? But in the
Paid
entertainment,
equally.
Exactly. But in the entertainment sector, we are at the forefront.
But the thing is, even with the entertainment sector, in the forefront it'll be black people, but in behind
That's
the
what I'm
scenes,
saying with the CEOs.
in the corporations who
Exactly.
actually owns the thing, it's the white people.
Exactly.
But then that's kind of something that's really not in our control, though, isn't it? Like,
Of course it's not,
these
but at the same
companies-
time, but it's saying like, yes, obviously black people
It's
being
not
in
in
the
our
forefront
control
is
currently.
a good thing, but
It's not. You will
look who
see how
just
come the
walked
queen
in.
has walked
Come
in.
in,
look
come
who
in.
just
Come
walked
in.
in.
Siona, Siona.
Get comfy, get comfy.
Get comfortable.
Come on.
Let me do. Huh?
It's alright.
I get in fat, you know.
That means you're eating good. It's fine. You're eating well.
In the winter, eat Ari. You gotta keep yourself warm, man.
We. You bet. Madam,
we-
your mic is over there. Don't worry, we'll keep all of this in. This is funny. This is
What
funny.
were we saying now?
Boom. Okay, and the enter. No, let me do a read. This is Siona is here.
Hi
You
guys.
get me. She has returned. But yeah, what I was saying was that, okay, in the entertainment sector, in the forefront, we are highly visible. What I'm saying, will this trend continue? Is it even a trend? Is it actual progression, or is it right now a trend? And in 10 years, we'll go back to being. We won't be at the front of Billboard magazines no more. We will be at the back of them. We won't be at the front of music anymore. We'll go back.
I
Let
don't
me
think
tell you,
it's
the direction that
changing.
black people have been going is up.
It's up.
And I
yeah.
think it's
Yeah,
gonna
I find that's
continue.
change soon, though.
I don't think so.
You
You know
think?
what I think gonna change soon? No offense to other people,
It's
but
cool, man.
it's gonna be like homosexuals on the front cover, everything, transsexuals, transgenders. It's not gonna be a thing by black people anymore. Like, it's gonna change. To
I understand. So basically,
I
other
see that.
minorities
Yeah.
are gonna be put to the. I hear that.
You think black people will be demoted? Shall I
I don't
say?
think we'll necessarily be demoted. I just feel like we're not going to be
The forefront.
because obviously back in the day it was we need to be promoted because of oppression, but now it's more like we're still being oppressed, but it's like homosexual LGBT people are being oppressed. Not necessarily more, but it's just I don't know. I think it's more of them. They're trying to get their rights and their thing because obviously homophobia is still a big thing. Obviously racism is still big, but. Yeah.
It's not as
So
overt as it
not
used
as
to be.
overt as it used to be because obviously homophobia is still a big thing. So I think they're trying to still get their progression up. Like we're kind of been progressive for a while, but they still need to get there.
They're trying to have a fast come up though. I can't lie, and it's like that people can continuously like to compare black culture and sexuality. So
Like
it's very
even
It
weird.
doesn't make sense. When I hear this argument,
Like,
I
even-
it
like,
jars
even-
me.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
like
yeah,
an
I've been
article-
waiting to talk on something like this for so
Yeah,
long.
because there was
God.
even an article
Shoot.
where it was like, is being gay and black the same thing? Like, the
Oh
same,
my
the
days,
same-
no.
Because you can be black
Oppression.
and gay.
That's what I'm, it was even a thing of like, you can be gay, but nobody knows it. Like, it's not like an overt thing where somebody actually has to
Exactly.
ask you.
Your
are you,
sexuality.
That's what I'm saying.
But
When I
you
say
see
this,
that I'm black from down the road, you don't know that I'm gay from down there.
you're literally taking all the words out of my mouth.
Sorry.
When I say
Yeah.
this, fam, I say this with no offense to anyone at all, but I'm saying this
None
from
at
my
all. No offense
my
to
perspective and
anybody.
how
Nah, but
I
you don't
see
need
it.
to say that because people with actual common sense will understand we're not coming
I
across
hope
as
so.
offensive.
I hope so. I hope so. You cannot compare sexuality
I'm just saying from
We
and,
hope so.
and
You don't so.
racism. You cannot compare the two.
Mm-hmm.
Racism is something that you carry with you every single day. You cannot change it about you.
Exactly.
You cannot
That's where
hide
you're
it. Your
born.
sexuality, people go from straight to homosexual, from homosexual to straight. If I look at you, I will not know if you're gay or not. Like these are not things that you wear on your sleeve. They're not things that you carry. Come on, man. A person will take one look at a black person and they will judge them instantly, prejudice.
Fam, how many-
They may not even mean it, but if you look at a gay person or a straight person, you cannot differentiate the two. The journeys that both parties have is not the same. It cannot be compared, in my
I feel
opinion.
like black
It
people
cannot
got
be
more
compared.
negative vibes looked at them compared to like gay people. No,
Like, for
straight away, if I look at you, no, not you.
yeah, but yeah.
But a black person, like, oh, he's gonna steal from me. He's gonna do this to me. But if you look at a gay person, you can think like,
You have to
they're
do-
gay.
You may not even know their sexuality.
Exactly.
No, in order to find out someone's sexuality, unless there's certain circumstances where, for example, it's a gay pride event and everyone there, it's a part of the LGBT community.
That's straight,
But yeah, true.
It's true. There are straight allies.
True. But unless, for the most part, unless I ask you, unless I have a conversation with you, I cannot tell your sexual orientation. You don't even, therefore, I can't have prejudices against you because I don't know your sexual orientation. Do you know
And
what I
even
mean?
in this conversation, are we trying to minimize the
No.
oppression that gay people have? Obviously, gay people have, and the whole LGBT people.
Yeah.
Like even just the other day, I think even maybe last week or this week, another trans black female was murdered in America, and there's been a lot of trans murders in America. But like, no, we're not trying to minimize
No, we're
they're
just
suffering.
articulating
We're
the
just saying
struggles are
that
different.
The struggles they're not the same thing, and they will never be the same thing, and they don't have to be the same thing. Oppressions are not the same.
They're
What?
not the same, honestly, man.
This is affecting you
Fam,
really.
I've had countless conversations with people in secondary school, with white girls, with even certain black girls, and I just don't. I just think, how do you not see there's a difference?
Of course, there's a difference.
But you carry being black with you everywhere, or being Asian everywhere. You cannot carry your
Do you know what
sexuality
pissed me
everywhere.
off though? When someone says something about like, why black people got to have Black History Month,
Oh!
and then they compare it to Pride. I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
I'm just tired.
because,
I'm just tired.
Like I know a lot of gay people have done like a lot of good things in this world, but like
Yeah, Alan Turing. Shout
just
out
trying to
Alan Turing.
understand.
If you might know about Alan Turing, he's literally one of the main reasons why the Allies won the World Cup, World War. Like, and he was gay, but fam, the treatment that he got was mad as well. He got chemically castrated.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
This guy found the Enigma code, which was basically the reason why England was able to intercept
Movie
the
with Benedict
Germans.
Cumberbatch in
Yeah,
it.
is
Yeah,
that who
yeah.
it's about?
Yeah.
Okay, I
yeah.
still need to watch that movie.
Like, fam, this guy arguably single-handedly won the World War for England and the Allies, but then because he's gay,
To go on a little
oppressed.
tangent, you brought up history, right? And I thought like Black History Month is important as well. What's very important is that I noticed academically the history that we're taught is history of strife, oppression, and it's like all of
Black history.
Black history comes from strife and oppression. Where I never heard Mansa Musa in school. I never heard that one of the richest people in the existence of the planet was a black man.
The richest, bro.
The richest man in human history came from Africa. Or no, as far as they go is the Egyptians. That's as far as they go.
But
But
all you learn is about what's his name,
Tutankhamun.
and how to wrap a dead body. That's all.
but
you learn.
literally,
You don't
it's
really
like
learn
it's
nothing
like it's like for the wider
about
part
black
of
kings and queens and stuff like
It's
that.
like
You don't learn.
Kings and Queens
As in, we
was
only
time.
learn about what's her name, silly Henry VIII and all of them Tudors and the rubbish.
no, of course
Nobody
not.
cares about him and his
Florence
six wives. Nobody
Nightingale.
cares.
To play devil's advocate, of
Nobody
course, we're in
cares.
England, so we have to learn English history. That
Yeah, but
makes
we don't
sense.
know.
Yeah, but
Windrush-
there's more
Windrush
to.
is part
But
of
the thing is,
English
there's more to
history.
English
Facts.
history than Tudors and people dying because they wanted to
Facts.
get divorced. Like this
Facts.
is more to. There's more to English
But-
history than that.
But my whole gripe of it is that again, there were multiple African empires that aren't even touched upon, and it's fine that you can touch on the American Revolution, but touch upon some of the stuff we learned in Africa. We literally have to go outside the curriculum to find this stuff, and I find even more, and I find it even weirder the fact that specifically in London there is a large black population, there's a large African Caribbean population, so it makes a lot of sense to teach some of the stuff in that
If
curriculum.
Like
you
even,
teach this
even
to the
black
white-
English history, nobody knows black English history, like, because there are things that have happened in this country by black people that nobody
Yeah.
necessarily knows.
Facts.
If you teach this to the white kids, the Asian kids, and everyone else, this will help them to embrace black people.
Yeah, because
Literally.
I was watching The Real, and they were talking about like, is it too young to teach diversity to kids? Because I can't remember if it was Tamara. She said that she takes her son to a preschool where it's like multi-racial,
Yeah.
and then I think there was an article where it was like maybe too young to teach diversity to kids, but then obviously they were saying like, no, there's never too young to teach like kids, like this is this culture, that is that culture,
What's bad
like
about diversity?
it's better for
There's nothing wrong with
society.
Even Akala said he went to a Pan-African Saturday school.
Yeah,
And so we used to go to a Pan-African Saturday school and learn about, heritage and culture. So I think all of that is important. Of course, the curriculum can't tackle everything in human history. Of course they can't, but a bit more foresight into which type of people inhabit these schools, which type of people. A lot of people that inhabit London schools are African Caribbean
because
kids.
literally all you
So
know about
it
Caribbean
makes
history
sense,
is
to
the
teach
Windrush
them
and
a
Mary
bit about their
Seacole.
history.
Rubbish.
Do you know what I mean?
What do you think of this, Jason?
The Windrush and that.
Just this
I
entire
learned about
conversation.
it. For me, my history, they taught us a lot about British history as well, because one of our teacher was black. Yeah, so I learned about the Windrush and everything. But I feel like, because we are in England, they taught us more. Majority of the things they taught us was about British culture. So the Victorian times, King Henry VIII. So I won't fully blame them for teaching us more of that, because when you think of the academic year, it's like one term is on this, the next term is on that, and then by the time you realize it's summer holidays. But then again, I feel like they should have like their PHSE days. They should make it more into like educating the young people in the school about like the Black history and everything, because all the time when I've noticed PHSE days in my school, they always spoke about gang crime, knife crime, all that stuff. But why didn't we learn about Black history since it was such a big thing, especially in the UK as well? So I feel like they need to do more of that, because as we said, we're in the UK, so we're obviously going to learn about the English history and everything. And the terms that we have is that there's not a lot to fit in everything. And I don't think people want to learn about Black history like that.
The sad reality is the Department of Education it's a government body made up of mainly white people.
Of course.
And they're not gonna I don't even think they would
As in, they're
want
still
to
teaching us
teach.
silly Pythagoras and all of that rubbish.
Yeah, but not only that, inside of when you teach us about slavery, because trust me, I've learned about slavery enough times.
Oh
But
my
you never
gosh.
taught us about people who it's not all schools yet. Because I've been to two schools. When I went to a predominantly Black school, I got taught more about Black history.
Yeah.
When I got to mixed school, I got English history, but that's another story. But I feel like when you teach us about slavery, teach us about people who have helped us come out of slavery, who built the railroads, like Nanny the Maroons. I didn't get taught about her at all.
Who?
Nanny the Maroons. She's a Jamaican national hero.
Okay.
Originally from Ghana, though. So that's why a lot of Jamaicans would be like, yeah, we're Ghanaian because of her. So she got them dark hand roots there, and Jamaican then more likely be from Maroon. Shut up, Jason.
What did I do?
No, but do you know the funny part about the curriculum teaching of slavery? It's like, okay, cool. Slavery happened. Why did slavery happen?
Bang you in the face.
Because
Because white people are extra. And they're
No.
lazy.
Think about it. Why did slavery happen? These
White people are
colonizers are
lazy.
not gonna travel from their country to colonize something
No.
that's a jungle.
It's 'cause
Just
white
colonize
people are
something that doesn't have value.
lazy.
So meaning
There's
Africa
two
had
conversations going on. I'm confused.
No, she's answering
Let's
him.
focus.
I'm just
Please.
angry because white
No,
people
we
are
are
lazy.
focusing. She's
Okay.
answering him.
Sir.
Shoot, NK, shoot.
What was I saying? So basically,
Why
why did slavery happen? Because these colonizers won't come and colonize a country that's not valuable. I love the way the narratives are, especially the narrative of colonization, is that we gave these people culture, we gave these people structure, we made their paradise. Cool. You lot wouldn't have came from England, Spain, Portugal, wherever, to a country that was a wasteland. Meaning there was values in those countries. Meaning there was history before slavery. Why not teach it? If you're going to teach slavery, give me the full picture.
But it's just
Give me
it's
the
just common
before
sense.
and after.
Common sense.
Give me what Africa was before colonization, what Africa was after colonization.
Did you see what was going on in the news this week with the Lionheart movie? So that's
Yeah.
basically Lionheart is a Nollywood movie that was bought by Netflix, and that
Oh,
was
the
the
Oscar
first.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they were nominated for an Oscar earlier this year, and then only recently they've been disqualified because the movie was in English, and they need to understand that
Feel what?
Nigeria was colonized. So
their-
the fact that that's the
language
language
is
that they
English.
speak.
Even if you watch Nollywood, the majority is
Yeah,
in English.
so I'm saying
Because that's the language of
what's
the
her name?
country is English.
Ava DuVernay, she was saying how basically you colonize this country and now you're telling them because the language that they speak in that country, they're not accepted to be in the best international movie
That's
nomination.
stupid.
So I find that
When
really
their official language is English.
exactly. So I find that really
Rubbish.
dumb and disrespectful. So that's been going on. I just feel like everything they just like taking. They don't want us to
they
get
do.
anything.
Shout out Ava DuVernay though
She's a
for
strong
when they
one.
see us. Fam.
She's a-
Actually,
I
that's
haven't
watched
really
her.
mad.
13th. If you
Oh
know,
my
13th.
days, 13th is
Ava
That made
DuVernay,
me
that movie
cry.
was. Oh, I mean,
It's a
that documentary.
documentary.
Sorry, not movie.
Documentary.
That documentary was
Yeah.
live.
13th Amendment.
How
Fam.
basically the prison system is basically slavery.
I remember my media teacher who was white. I have to rate it for this. She encouraged me to watch it. Watch it. You need to watch it.
We
You need
watched
to
it in
watch
our film and TV class.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out Ava DuVernay.
shout out Ava
man.
DuVernay.
Real guy.
She's a real
But-
one.
Sad, man.
But yeah, just to harken back to the original point.
Hold up, what?
Harken.
Harken.
Have you not heard?
Can I search that?
Coming
word
like
up
biscuit.
quickly?
When you coming with big
guy,
words, he
fam.
doesn't
My
everything.
goodness
Hey,
me.
that's good,
fam.
Mr.
No,
Thesaurus.
it's biscuit where Gogo will say the word and,
Mr. Dictionary.
and he's like,
I
what
like-
is this?
Yeah.
And it's
Oh
just like,
my
he said
days.
dissect or
Harken.
something.
Hey Siri, what does
Harken.
harken mean?
Oh my
My
days.
guy.
I'm actually googling this.
This girl's dumb as
This
well.
fam.
Sorry.
Have you got it?
No,
These
see,
but you
don't
got
know.
anyway.
Nah, this NK.
Oh
My guy.
days, fam. To go back to the original, harken back to the original topic.
Man, that's a harken, you know.
Harken
What does that mean?
means to like go back, like to harken.
Oh, I'm
whatever.
gonna use that in my essays.
Yeah, you know like that. You know like when you slap furthermore.
Yeah, to market my point.
See the video?
Yeah.
What was it? Like a chameleon waving like this. When you slap furthermore in your
Okay.
essay.
Do you think Do you think black culture right now? Again, I asked this question before, but I really want to, especially when it gets shown his opinion on this. Do you think like we are here to stay now? Like we are, like, especially
Here for good.
we're here for good. Like the way we're being embraced in the media will continue as it is, even if it's not to the same degree. We'll still be a mainstay in media and entertainment. Or do you think we're gonna get pushed to the side? Like
I feel like, personally, for me, I feel like we are gonna have a long run. But there's going to be a lot of obstacles in the way of what
100%.
we're going through. But when you see there's people like Tyler Perry creating his own studios and stuff, giving black people opportunities to take these roles, and you see people like Beyonce being the first female person to have a Coachella set like that, and whatever.
Stormzy headlining Glastonbury.
Stormzy, then Rihanna with her $900 billion. That's going to be $1 billion business by 2020.
Dave and Fredo hitting
all them
number
stuff.
one.
When you're seeing all them stuff, especially in the UK industry as well, when you're seeing all these stuff that's happening with the music industry, and then you're seeing all these black people coming up there, it's like, rah, this is actually gonna go a long way, because
I feel like they might try though.
What?
They might try like.
Exit us,
They might try exit us, but I don't think. I
But
feel
we'll come back
like
stronger.
we're not
but
going
It's
anywhere.
in demand though, you guys. It's in demand. Like like you just listed out
All
the
the adverts,
these
you just see
talented
bare
guys
black
are
people.
in demand, and they remain to be in demand.
Exactly.
How
And
long-
Dave of all people.
How long has Beyonce been in the scene for?
Since the 90s.
Yeah.
Destiny
And
And
Child.
she's still in
Destiny
demand.
Child.
Fam, one of the biggest artists in the world.
Fam, that's the kind of thing that you have no choice but to embrace it.
Rihanna, all them people,
Or accept
Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Exactly,
It's
fam.
beautiful. I think it's heading
In
in
the
a good
words of
direction.
Conor McGregor, fam, we're not here to compete. We're here to take over. You
Yeah.
get me?
Tell 'em
You
again.
Oh,
get
yeah,
me?
and shout out to Irish people as well, because they were pushed aside back in the days as well.
Yeah,
Shoot,
yeah,
shoot.
No
they
Irish
were.
people, no dogs,
Shoot,
no blacks.
Yeah.
yeah. Hence why there's a lot of mixed race people that are like Irish and Jamaican, Irish and
Irish.
Caribbean.
That's true.
Y'all niggas got me hot.